Everyone rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. This regular council meeting of the Village of Armada, which is October the 11th. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you kindly. Clerk, call roll, please.
Shaw.
Here.
Clark.
Here.
Coleman. Bullock.
Here.
Baylor.
Here.
Sleds.
Here.
Belkey.
Here.
Next is the approval of the agenda. What's the council's wishes, please?
I need to remove the presentation that I have listed. I misread Joe's note. They're coming next meeting, not this meeting.
That being said, Mr. President, I'll move the agenda is accepted as amended.
Support.
Okay, excuse me. Moved and supported. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Administrator reports.
No, citizen comment.
Oh, citizen comment. How can I forget that? I'm sorry. You know, I had my glasses on and they're just a little bit too strong. So, anyone would like to address the council at this time? I have 3 minutes. State your name for the record as such.
You ready for me?
Nope.
Anyone, sir, go
Yes, sir.
ahead. State your name
Sure.
for the record.
Jason Scott.
Yes, Mr. Scott.
I'm new to your village. My wife and I moved in June of this past year.
Well, welcome.
No, thank you. We inherited her mom's house. It's corner of Lathrop and Fulton, the north side. The tannish house.
Oh,
Just- Not the white one, the one on the other side.
yeah, right.
So we're here for the foreseeable future. I'm a teacher. My wife's in business. Oh, I'm on camera.
You are.
Always were. This past week, I spoke to Chris regarding Lathrop Street, the portion between Fulton and Church, and he did inform me that the village does plan to do something, some type of renovation within the next year or so. I'm here because the street floods all the 3 homes on that portion. It floods our yard. It causes flooding in our driveways, causes damage to the yards in terms of erosion.
Very true. Some of our side streets there, which we want to do also.
Yes.
And of course, as money comes in, we're going to do it as fast as possible.
Mhm.
And which he probably assured you.
He did. This is.
He's on top of it.
Oh, he is. Yes, he is. Yeah. I just. It was suggested by me that I just make an appearance. Not by me, by someone else, just to make myself, known. There is one small request. Was that the drain on the corner is currently blocked by the easement, which is grass, and the water cannot flow past that easement. So some of the grass has to be removed. May I?
Mhm.
So we have the corner. Here's a drain.
The drain is right there on the
Yeah,
line.
Here's the grass. Okay, this is all grass here. And here's a sidewalk. So this all floods. Okay, and it can't go around and it can't go this way. So if this was removed, I would save myself and my neighbors a lot of headaches.
We'll have the DPW supervisor take a look at it. In fact, Chris probably already made a note of it as you
Okay.
go.
All right.
Looked at it too.
Yeah.
Okay, that was all. I'd like to introduce myself, and I'll be a resident for some time, I hope.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay,
The Walsall place?
No, he's in the Lions' old house.
Okay.
the old Lions family.
Yeah.
I found about 100 photos stuck in the attic.
Oh, nice.
They left them there.
Well, she used to.
Photos
she
are
used to
much older
write
than
for one of the
mine.
papers,
Yeah,
and she was quite adamant about it. So.
she did. She wrote me.
Yeah, I took the photos, and they're in Ross's basement of his business.
Yeah,
We're gonna look at him as the Historical Society, which I also joined when
nice,
I moved here.
nice,
So,
good, that's great.
I don't want to take any more of your time.
All right,
Thank
thank
you. All right,
you.
thank you.
Welcome to town.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone else? We have a September 21 code enforcement report and a commissioner's report to council. Belkey, do you have anything?
Yes,
Name's on there.
you refer to my write-up, just as a note. Michelle likes my write-up because it makes it easy for her. Just a note to other commissioners. In any case, zoning board of appeals path forward. I've been able to get in touch with all of the current members. Not sure how long some of those members are going to remain on the ZBA, but they've all agreed to come to a meeting on the 21st of October where we will have officer elections, try to get a new ZBA president, possibly a vice president, and as you know, I'm the secretary, so I'm really kind of exceeding my authority to call these meetings, but I'm doing it under the auspices of being a council liaison, because
Gotta get done.
nobody else is doing it, right? So that should reconstitute the board and at least give us enough people to hear a potential appeal that may come up later on this year. So this may be a short-term fix, but in any case, we're moving forward with the meeting, and I'll advise council of what happens at the next council meeting. Next item is, and Jeff, I'll probably talk to you a little bit about this, installation of agricultural wells in the village. Just to refresh your memory, we had 2 residents that contacted me about desire to do this. I don't know that they've done anything specific with it. They indicate that these are specifically for agricultural purposes. I've advised them that once they connect in any way, shape, or form to the water distribution system, to include connecting to their household plumbing, they're now connected to the distribution system. They will be metered and charged for it. If they want to put a well in at their own cost for watering their flowers or their grass, I don't see anything currently in the Code of Ordinances or the zoning ordinance that prohibits that. Continue to look. Jeff, you may know something, that's where I want to talk to you.
Yeah, it's come up in the past. I think the biggest issue, Ross, and one that I'm sure you're sensitive to, is just, the DEQ basically telling us, you have only a couple of aquifers that serve the village, and
Right.
If people start depleting them for agricultural purposes, that could affect the public water. So,
Yes.
we've been told watch even development, because that can affect how much water we have. So that's, I would definitely maybe place a call with the DEQ just to get some background information.
It's a good point. Interestingly, I got a call, what started a lot of this is I got a call from the Macomb County Health Department.
Right.
Because they had contacted, one of the individuals contacted the health department. They have nothing that prohibits, and I said, well, how about the Drain Commission and so on. So I'm kind of circling around seeing what there is, and I will talk to Eagle about it and see if they have a prohibition. More to follow on that. Cross connection and backflow prevention update. I did put a couple charts in the packet for you to take a look at. Unless there's any questions, I will tell you that we're on track for completion of inspections and testing of backflow, cross connection and backflow prevention of valves in businesses, municipal buildings, schools, churches, that type of thing, all non-residential. That is under contract with HydroCorp. That contract will be up at the end of July of 2022, so we're on track to do that. There is one chart in there, just take a peek at it. I think Michelle, I got it in my packet, but I see a hand.
Everybody, no, I left this extra one because I noticed when I went through my packet today that this was on the back it was two-sided, not one-sided.
Oh, okay.
So this was just one of them that
Yeah,
I
okay.
missed.
In any case, that's a chart I would take a look at. There's 3 entities in there that I'm in the process of contacting because they have either not responded to several messages regarding testing of devices, so that means they've already been inspected, they've been told that they have deficiencies, and they've had several months now to correct their deficiencies, and they have not responded back on those, so there's a potential shut-off involved if they don't. And there's another entity, the one at the bottom of the page, that has been contacted but not responded back for initial inspections. And so I have points of contact for all of those, and I will move forward to contact them and see what the issue is. To my knowledge, I've not received any communication, Becky hasn't, regarding any of these entities as to there being a problem, why they can't comply, why they're unwilling to comply. So, and I don't like the ignorance is bliss excuse, so I'm going to contact them, find out what the problem is. We're going to get this stuff resolved. Moving on to number 4, we talked at the last meeting about the fact that we were scrambling a little bit to complete lead copper water sampling on time. We did collect all the samples on time, so I want to thank Wally Benkavich, who is our water treatment plant operator in charge, and Becky for helping me out. A lot of time and effort to do that. I want to tell the residents that helped us, thank you very much. They will get a report back about their particular water lines, if there's lead in the water lines or not. So those samples have been turned in and they are now being tested. So more to follow on that. But again, thanks to everybody, we got it in. And that way we don't have a slap in the wrist by Eagle for non-compliance. Heart and Soul Initiative, Kathy Dickens came by last meeting and talked to us a little bit about that initiative. She and I will appear before the Township Board just to let them know that this is being considered at their meeting on the 15th of October, Wednesday. A little bit of a surprise, I think, to me and maybe Kathy. We talked about the Community Appreciation Day. Kathy had managed to get us $1,000 to do some type of an event, but there was a tail to the money. There was an expiration date, and that expiration date was the end of September. So Kathy went out and quickly at the last minute purchased 24 trees from us from American Tree up in Almont. So we have 24 more trees to plant. Joe, you probably saw my note to you and to Jerry from Macomb County, and let me get her name wrong. Alyssa? Ashley, thank you. Ashley, who's from Relief, Michigan. A lot of different players. Anyway, Joe, I hope you're going to talk about that because Joe did an exceptional job getting 48 more trees planted. But we got 24 more, and so those are on tap. Last but not least, bit of a scramble again, but we did update some of our paperwork for the Coronavirus Local Fiscal Recovery Fund. This is the fund under the Relief Act from Congress that came to the states. We've got $179,577. $179,507 from the federal government is passed through the state to be distributed. That distribution is supposed to happen within the next 2 to 4 weeks. As I understand it, we had a piece of paper that we needed to get my signature off, Marvin's signature on. After some bit of work trying to navigate the websites, we did get a submission received today from the state treasury, so our paperwork's in, so we should be in good shape to get that money. Again, it's supposed to be in 2 increments, don't know how it's gonna get distributed, hopefully they just give it all in the first increment. I'm gonna talk to Steve a little bit before the next meeting, because that money ostensibly is gonna be used for water or sewer. We don't have a broadband issue here, that's the third thing that it can generally be used for. And so, council's gonna need to make a decision on distribution, but I'll talk to Steve and see what he wants to do with that. I know, Michelle, I think you said we could not prepay any of the wastewater treatment plant down. Can't repay it, so can't knock it off any faster than it already is, so.
You know, I've still got change orders coming in.
Got
so
change
we're just
orders,
knocking it
so-
as we go.
Yep, so maybe some kind of a 50-50 or something. I've got things I could do with the money, I know he does. And so we'll have some kind of recommendation from council at the second meeting in October. Okay, that's it. Questions? Thank you.
Mr. President, you have the police report, you'd like that now?
Oh, sure.
Thank you. This is for the police action report for September 2021. They had 72 traffic stops, 10 EMS assists, 4 assist other agencies, 3 suspicious calls, 0 reckless driver complaints, 5 civil disputes, 2 dog and animal complaints, 3 disturbances, 3 alarm and open door, 2 domestic service calls, 1 lockout, 1 death investigation, 0 runaway juveniles, damage of property 1, mischief was 2, miscellaneous calls for service was 8, officer initiated activities was 3, mental health was 1, lost and found property 1, warrant arrest was 1, adult and assault and battery was 2, fraud was 1, and stalking was 1. There was 2,815 miles on the patrols. Michelle, I'll give this to you
Yep.
after the meeting.
Okay.
Well, if I can, just curious, does the Chief Patrick believe he's making progress on the speeding?
Oh, yes, well, with 72 traffic stops.
Yeah.
I see them in action.
I do.
They're doing it.
And we also have ordered the new traffic speed trailer, and we do have another sign, electronic sign coming that registers the speeds. That can be moved any place in the village. It can be attached to any pole, any tree, anything that they want to put it to, they'll pick these up, so it'll be orders.
No, that's great. Because I gotta tell you, with the current piece of equipment we got and signs out on the medians and signs all over the place, I still see people cranking through here.
I think people think that it stops at 25 at the light and then hits my house. By the time they hit the park, I mean, they're going 50.
Yeah, but I
know.
look and there's signs, you know, at
literally-
regular distances at
Yeah.
25 miles an
I'm
hour.
going to be talking to the chief of police, so I'm going to ask him to put an additional part-time man on during the day, and just have him just go to some of these areas.
Well, I'm not, I mean, they're making a lot of steps.
Oh, they are, yeah, I
but
agree
mean,
with Steve.
You know, you can only,
It's just-
Well, it's a one-man car per shift.
That's
and
it.
They can't be everywhere.
I'd like to see
well, and
two
with
men
Cape
on
Hack
the
Road
day.
being shut down, there's a lot more traffic coming through. Blake's brings
And
through
they
a lot
got
of
lights
traffic.
coming through.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, I'm flabbergasted. Just,
me too.
and then they wonder why they get a ticket. And it's like,
Yeah, well,
Well, we don't need a speed trap. That's not our intention.
no, that's not the intent. Yeah.
I addressed this last meeting as well. So for the people that see this on the camera and on Channel 6, is it? They see it, it is a warning. They will be stopped and possibly ticketed for getting too much speeding. We don't need any injury accidents or property damage accidents. This will be a deterrent. So if they're speeding, better slow down.
Yep.
That is a fair warning.
Amen.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I'll add on to that, is in going, I'll just segue from Lyle's into with the DPW and the streets. So Dave has got the reflective markings for the poles, for the speed signs. We did talk about where you can get the recording device for all 4 locations, or as you said, anywhere you want. To go with the blinking stop sign, though, we can do that on the speed sign too. So all things for the chief to consider. We get a sample here or there.
I love that blinking stop sign.
Yeah,
It catches your attention.
it does catch your attention. Yeah. So they have a similar one for the speed limit sign as well. When Chief and I were talking, instead of with putting markings some other, we talked about actually putting that one underneath all 4 corners.
Great.
So you see your speed, you know exactly what you're doing when you're coming in or to that sign, and to go along with the reflective tape. So Dave's been keeping up on that and then keeping in touch with Chief. Again, and thanks to the DPW and all the volunteers. Again, as Ross mentioned, we had our tree planting. We had round 2.
Round 2.
So Dave and crew and all the volunteers, it's somewhere near 80 trees,
Yes.
all told.
Yeah, they're over 80.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think all told. Yeah, but so you can see them on East Main and Teats and Prospect and going up First and Spencer too. I think.
Spencer also.
Did you say the fire department is helping out too?
That's what I was going to know. So the fire department also is volunteer. That's where we're getting the first round of water from too. Chief Crotchy was asked, and he said he'd have no problem coming out and bringing us the first batch of water for the trees. So that's been great. Our resident left. I said I'll get back with Dave on what we wanted. Dave was talking of actually cutting the drain, through that grass area there.
Yeah.
Along with the watering, a couple other points to bring up is we did get a quote for ongoing watering of the trees. Basically for $750 a day per 100 trees.
$750 a day?
750, yeah, they figure they'll take about 10 hours
A
a
day
day
for how many trees?
per 100 trees.
I don't know that they need to be watered every day.
I don't think so. Yeah,
Not with the
I think
rain
we're
we've
thinking
been
of
having.
once a week.
Yeah.
Because that,
Ashley was pretty, gave us some pretty good guide when we did our walk.
right, and they even, when we got done, gave us some more guideline on what to do as far as planting them, watering them, keeping, if you see any dead branches, keep them trimmed. DPW is good about, paying attention that they can do that. One of the biggest things that Jerry and Ashley said is we need to protect the trees from people that have areas that they're using for parking. They drive over the root ball and you're gonna crush the roots.
Yeah.
You're parking too close and you've got exhaust from the vehicles. So we do have a couple of areas that they pinpointed, and I'll get with Marv after the meeting, and you can direct the DPW to put some no parking signs out in those areas.
Barricades or
So
something,
just-
yeah.
And there's only a couple of them that we noticed that there was parking, so. But other than that, I see one tree that doesn't look real healthy, right here on Burke, but other than that, they all look good. So,
I know they're very nice looking trees.
yeah, nice variety of species, so.
Very good, thank you. Consent agenda for approval of the regular council meeting minutes of August the 23rd and a payment of bills. What is council's wishes, please?
Mr. President, I'll move the consent agenda be accepted as presented.
Moved by Dolly, supported by?
Slides.
I didn't hear.
Chris.
Support.
Good, okay, thanks.
Excuse me. Would the council minutes be of 9:23?
Should be 9:23, is
Oh,
right.
hang on a second.
9:23.
Thanks, Mr. Conlon.
No, hang on a second, where's your dates?
Is it the 27th?
27.
This is 27.
Let me see your
I got
calendar
the
for a
old
second.
packet.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, we can
The agenda's
amend them. No, the 27th, September 27th.
Yeah, mine says August
The
23rd.
agenda
Mine says
sheet,
8/23.
Michelle.
Well, the minutes themselves say the 27th.
Yeah, you're not adopting this.
Yeah.
You're right.
Right,
It's
okay.
a good catch.
Yeah, a good catch,
As long
but
as the
yeah,
minutes in the packet
the minutes in the
are
packet.
properly dated.
Yeah, so, okay,
We are.
moved and supported, any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Mr. President, I need to abstain from the minutes. I wasn't at the meeting, but vote yea on the bills.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. Next is the old business, which would be the sewer plant update, which is Mr. Clark's department, please.
Yep. Last week,
Can I say one thing before you start? The report that I left for you guys was because F&D did not have that for the last meeting,
Right.
so they turned it in.
Yeah.
That's why it's here. That's not
and they're
really.
gonna get back into sequence.
The regular.
Yeah, they'll be good.
Yeah.
Becky has beat them.
I talked to them, so we're good.
Yeah, Michelle has beat them.
Yeah, I told them
Nice.
not to worry too much about it.
Yeah.
Last Wednesday, I attended the construction meeting down at the plant. Tank 3 is now out of service, it's been drained, equipment has been removed, and they have been blasting the old coating off of it. So tanks 1 and 2 are the new way, they've been operating very well. I got upcoming, I've got a change order that's gonna be on the agenda coming up here, but coming up probably at the next meeting, is gonna be another change order, and that should be for the new roof on the plant. And if I recall correctly, it's gonna be somewhere in the neighborhood of $37,000. So I asked Doug Skiles from Rowe to go over the figures, just kind of see what kind of money we still have in the fund left over, and he'll get back to me on that. And that's where maybe this this money that you were talking about, some of it goes towards that. I don't know what else to do. I've got some money in the funds, and I'll get with Joe, we'll see again what
Yeah, I have balances for you.
what kind of funding we have there. But just to let you know, it's coming up. It definitely has to be done. We've got water leaking into the electrical room, which is not a good situation. And it's an original roof to the building, so. So that's upcoming, and that's all I've got right now.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Mr. Clark. Want to go to new business? This is to a second bid for removal of tornado-affected trees. Chris, that streets, is that being handled by you?
Yes. Yeah, we, with the progress, or I'll say lack of that has been made, from August, September on our tree removal, tree trimming, and stump removal, it came in being able to try to put it all under one package and get it all done at one time. The other thing is too, is a lot of the removal we're getting, especially the stump removal, I got another quote that's gonna take to actually fix it. Because all the roots and stuff are still there, so we can't put sidewalks and that on top of it, so we gotta remove all of that and then refill everything as well.
That's from the 18 that were done?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Now, will there be an extra amount of money considerably?
Yeah. Most likely, yeah. Yeah.
But compared to the ones it's hard to say how much all told. I guess if I look at what the bills we've got to date, probably not, it's gonna be comparable. They're charging $500 for trimming, and that's the rate here. And then depends on the size of the tree, anywhere from $700 to $2,000 to cut it and remove it. In this case, we're paying that much just to get it cut but not removed. So, like I said, one of the other challenges we got is it's already been 2.5 months with very meager progress. We're gonna lose the season for my sidewalks until next year now. And we have to come back in all the holes and get all the roots and stuff out and then refill so we can put sidewalk down.
Okay.
So we did get a couple quotes. Chris, because that should be easy for me to remember. from the tree guy, and then cap and truce are both provided. Using their terminology, they go by the size of the tree. The quote is for removing trees and grinding out the stumps, as well as the tree trimming, all the remaining tree trimming that needs to be done, and then all the debris cleared and removed from the site.
Can I say something?
Pertaining,
To the actual job. I own the tree guys.
He's the tree guy.
He's one of the bids that came in.
okay.
Can I say something? Alright. So going back to the stuff that happened with the additional stuff that's coming up from the original stump removal that was done by Dean, they were incorrectly pulled out. You can't just rip a tree, you just can't rip a stump out of the ground and expect everything there to be prepped and ready for concrete. So part of our bid and the other bids that came in were to correctly remove the stumps the way that they should have been done a couple months ago. I was at the township meeting and I was trying to explain to them, you can't just take a backhoe and rip the stump out and say it's good because you left all the debris, the roots and everything in the ground. That's the problem that's coming up now with laying the concrete. So with the way my company does it and some of the other companies do it, we correctly grind the stump out. It's a process, it's tedious, it costs money, the equipment's expensive, but you're not gonna have these problems where we can't pour concrete now because it wasn't done right. And so just understand that going into this, that it's not just as simple as running up with a backhoe, ripping it out and running off down the road, because all those roots are still left in there. And on my street, I live at Prospect and Fulton, it's a mess. What they ripped out down there and they left was an absolute mess. The drains messed up, and they just basically come in there and just ripped it out, and it's a mess. So, and I live in town, I see it, and that's why honestly I put a bid in to do the work, because I want to get it done fast. Within the next 2 weeks, I want to be out of here, done, gone, and everything fixed. That's all I got to say.
No, you're the local, sir.
Yes,
You
yes,
said
sir.
right,
Yes.
you know.
Well, what happened? Because I had talked to the supervisor and he was getting these 18 stumps removed and he was going to get it done before the fair and this was all set to go. They just waited for us to say, okay, do it, and we said do it. Did any of that get done?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's what he's talking
yes,
about, yes.
it got done, and it got done, and a number of them got done in a way that we have additional rework to do. For example, just to clean out the stumps, the roots and refill is about $5,500. It's going to take for us to come back on top of that work to get it what it should be in the first place. So yes, a lot of it got done, but again, there was always a time of some other event going on again, and it's tough with resource. And same with why we do with on the sidewalks is when you get someone that comes in and picks the 2-week window and gets it all done and boom, that's a good thing. You know, versus spreading it out over months and months and months. So.
This should never happen again. It was our village, our streets. They shouldn't have had nothing to do with it. And I think as long as I'm here, I will put my foot down. That will not happen again. Sir?
Can I say one more thing, Mark? Excuse me, sir. With that being said, the rework, where I hear what's going on, now that the cost for the rework is going on for the original 18 stumps was very close to what I bid in the beginning. When I came to everybody, I said, hey, you got to get this in now for the disaster money, for everything going on. We have to move quickly. All my insurance agents I deal with the city of Warren, Shelby, I deal with all these cities, and they understood, bing, bang, boom. You got to be in it, on it, appropriated, and done. You can't just wait around when you have a big disaster like this go down. And now that this rework's going on, it's close to what it was originally going to be for not only my company, for another company to come in the correct way and grind the stumps out. And my neighbors, they're all calling me going, what's going on with all these trees, Chris? And I'm like, look, I don't know, it's out of my hands. So that's why I'm here tonight. If there's any questions you have about processes, anything like that, ask me. Because I think a lot of uninformed decisions were made in the hours leading up after the tornado to just try to get something done by local guys everybody knew. And I think a lot of misinformation and a misunderstanding what was going to happened without listening to some other people around that knew what was going on. And I don't want to see that happen again. Because I honestly have no plans of leaving this town until I die. And I'm a young man.
And Chris is right, because we missed that window of opportunity to get it into the disaster funding. So now any of the repairs and the projects that we're doing to correct any of this is out of pocket.
Thank you.
There's no chance, Joe, for supplemental claim or?
Like I said, it was very pushy.
Well, it was a quick decision.
It was quick, but it was all, again, looking at the time, as Joe said
Necessary at
too.
the
When you
time.
came with the money, we got your idea to come up with $75,000, then it was immediately come up with your entire list. That would have been really difficult in the first place without just pure guessing and not having anything to substantiate it. I mean, it was kind, it was not a win-win situation we put in, it was kind of a win-lose type situation. But it is unfortunate that, there are some, costs that we would have been able to capture that we can't.
Well, I believe now that, you're on top of it, Chris. And the rest of the council members, they also probably believe in it also. So, thanks for handling it.
I don't think there any intent with other than it was just trying to get things done when they could, and we ended up where we ended up. So, all right. Well, Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to accept the bid from the tree guys in the amount of $29,000 for the removal. Well, maybe to leave it at that because that's all the resolution. But support.
Moved by
I'm sorry, is that you, Lyle?
Lyle, yes.
We should mention, there were 2 bids in, you should probably mention what the other bid was too.
The other bid from Captain Tree Service was in the amount of $35,500.
Okay,
Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah.
any further comments or anything? Yes, so spending money will be roll call.
Sleds?
Yes.
Ballard?
Yes.
Shaw?
Yes.
Belkey?
Yes.
Conan?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Wolock?
Yes. Motion carried. And you, how soon,
I'll be starting in town by the end of this week. And I want to be out of the rain and weather depending. I plan to be in town Saturday, Sunday. Crews will be starting Saturday, Sunday, work all through the following week, and then we should be done after that.
Okay.
So I've literally pushed my schedule that I had set up to get the town done so you guys could get the sidewalks done to get everything moving forward. We should have been here a long time ago. So
your work hours, sir, is gonna be what?
sundown.
Oh, I mean approximately.
Probably 7 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. I usually don't like cranking a saw before 7 a.m. and I usually don't like my guys getting home after dark. So normally 5:30, 6 o'clock they're starting to cut off anyway. But I don't start anything before 7 a.m.
That was good, Chris.
Yeah.
What do you need?
It's not that, right?
We're good.
Okay.
Actually, I've got my whole letterhead. I'm going to read it with my actual contract letterhead, and I'll just get it. Y'all, one of y'all can sign it when it's all set.
Yeah. You can better back, you'll get it else.
It's too late. They had the 30, when was the cutoff for that money, or the refund of money?
And he didn't listen to people.
The 30th, was it? Yeah, September.
Yeah, I did the schools in 6 days, all 4 buildings.
Okay. Thanks, Chris.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't say.
Thank you.
Roll call?
We already did?
You did,
Were you sleeping?
Yeah. You were second, I told ya.
Yeah.
Now you make me look. Make sure.
Keep her on her toes, Lyle.
Yeah, somebody's gotta.
Park fence replacement, Mr. Shaw, please.
Yes. The north side of the park was damaged during the tornado. The fence and it's been replaced. Some of the panels have been replaced over the years, but it's so damaged that it has to be replaced. The whole thing has to be replaced. And that, I went and looked at it myself and talked to Dave about it, and we concurred the same thing, that we got to replace that fence. And that is our fence. So.
Right, you can do it this year yet, do you think?
Yeah.
or-
Got 2
Yeah,
quotes.
yeah, we got 2 quotes, and I think the guy that Legend Land and Outdoor Services, I believe he's fixing the cyclone fence too already, from my understanding from Dave. So he's taking care of it.
Oh, okay. Oh, the one behind the
Yeah.
municipal lot then.
Yes.
The tree farm.
We're looking at,
$7,000.21. The other bid was from Michigan Fence I got, and it was $89.70. And then if they wanted privacy, the PVC, that would have been an additional cost of $1,700, which I don't think we need to do that. Let's go.
What are your wishes then, Mr. Shaw?
My wishes are resolved to accept the bid from Legend Land and Outdoor Services in the amount of $7,021.14 to replace the north fencing in the Memorial Park.
Support.
Moved and supported. Where's this coming from? I don't see an address.
Yeah, where are they located, do you know, Mike?
No, I do not.
I do not.
Actually, 810 of them.
What's the material? What,
Privacy fence panels, 4x4s, concrete equipment, miscellaneous supplies.
wood, vinyl?
Wood, yeah,
Oh,
cedar.
wood, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because the vinyl was more, it was $1,800 more.
3 to 4 days for installment.
Yeah, but I don't see an address either, I'm not sure. They've got this quote, I did not.
Well, we should get an address on this.
Okay.
We will. Okay.
Mike, you're
We
gonna
still
follow
have the motion.
the same footprint that's kind of there now?
Yeah.
And we had to jog around that one tree
Yeah.
before, and I don't think there's a good way to get it behind, because
Right.
now you're encroaching on the residents' property.
Right.
Is the tree still there?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Is it? So it was one of them that stood
Maybe
out.
less of it than there was, but yeah, it's still there.
All right, so we have a motion and any further discussion? If not, we'll call roll, please.
Shaw,
Yes.
Baylor,
Yes.
Belkey,
Yes.
Sleds,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Conan,
Yes.
Wallach,
Yes, motion carried.
It looks like they're in Attica,
That's what I did. Yeah.
Attica.
Michigan.
Attica, that's what I got too. Yeah.
Oh.
I don't think they're the ones out of, far on the west side.
Yeah.
Next one's,
Huh, what?
Clark's, next one's
So that's pretty
Steve's.
local.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Clark, again, your change order, please.
Yep, we got change order number 8 down at the wastewater treatment plant. There is a sheet from Rowe. First one, reconfigure piping for blower 2 and number 3. There was an existing electrical control panel they thought they would remove, but once we started talking to the operator, we can't take that out. If they do, they'd be manning the plant manually for about 4 days, so by the time you factor in that kind of cost, it just wasn't worth it, so they altered the piping. Item number 2 was seal the cracks in SBR tank number 2. Item number 3 involves some more piping that was changing, and we had to, it's got to be wrapped with heat tape because there's going to be sludge in it and it's exposed to the weather. And item number 4 is relocate the effluent sampler pump. It's done. Right now, it's in the mechanical room. It's going to be put into the room that did house the old blowers. So, if anybody has any questions, I will proceed. Resolve to approve change order number 8 for a net increase of $56,254 to the contract for the wastewater treatment plant SRF project 5645-01. to allow for the reconfiguration of the number 2 and number 3 blower discharge piping, seal clacks and SBR tank number 2, raise wrap with heat tape and insulate waste activated sludge pipe, and to relocate a fluid sampler pump, and to allow the sewer commissioner to sign change order 8 on behalf of the village.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion?
Is that you, Lyle?
Yes. Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Clark,
Yes.
Baylor,
Yes.
Belkey,
Yes.
Conan,
Yes.
Shaw,
Yes.
Sleds,
Yes.
Wallach.
Yes, motion carried.
Thank you, everyone.
Up and coming agenda items. Any
It's right,
What's that?
that address and that name.
Yeah, I found Patrick's statement
Exactly.
on Payne Road in
Yep.
Attica.
Mr. President, I have a question for the sewer commissioner, if I may.
Okay.
Steve, in the report here, it says that there is a circuit breaker for
Yes.
Harvard Laboratory. Oh,
That
man.
was something that was done way back when. They had
When it
some
was
problems
first
down there, and they finally found this thing up in the ceiling tiles. So I would like to talk to them down there to see if we can get that so it's a lot more
Move down.
accessible.
It should be readily accessible
Yeah,
by
that-
National Electric Code.
It shouldn't be hidden like
Yeah,
that. No,
exactly.
you're right.
Okay, see if we got that taken care of. Thank you.
Yeah. Anything else?
The next meeting, we will have the Lions Club here to present a check
That'll
to the
be
village.
Armada's and Addison Oaks chapter.
Oh, both, okay. Oh, I'm glad you said that.
All right, up and coming agenda items, council having? None?
Besides the presentation thing?
Yes.
Okay, the citizen comments, floor's open up to citizens once more. Anyone would like to address, 3 minutes? State name for record. Not? Council comments, please?
Mr. President, I think I need to get one more quote for the sidewalk, the last sidewalk replacement, the 61
The 61
flags.
flags.
I've got one quote in, and I've got 2 no calls back, but at least I want, if someone's gonna no, I'll take a no quote versus a no response, so.
Okay. So you might
I'm
have
hoping to
that
have
for the
that
next.
for the next agenda.
Okay.
yeah.
Well, they're putting the sidewalk in at the library.
That's
Yes.
part of the original.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that's not the
Correct.
tornado. but-
Nope, but yes.
And
And
it
there's
is going
one
in.
more potential on that original list as well. We have fulfilled our obligation for the Act 51.
Yeah.
But we still have, there's budget remaining, which is good. There's one other house on Howweg that put a request in for evaluation, and if there's any replacement there, we'd add it to that one too. But again, the challenge with these guys is when they hear about it, they want to start going and digging before the homeowners know, and that there's a contribution they need to make too.
Right. There's a
So-
whole process for
Correct.
sidewalks.
Yep.
Okay.
So is that this year yet, Chris?
Yeah, oh yeah, they'd be in the next couple weeks.
Okay, so weather permitting,
Yeah, weather permitting, right, yep. We set a target up to be, our target was the 15th. We may go, more to the end of the month if the weather holds, so, which it should be no problem finishing off. Matter of fact, Margaret at the library, you can see how they're cutting out. It's gonna be done in 3 parts. First was the south side, now the west side, except for the driveway, then the driveway, once the main and front's done, the driveway will come in on the side so that they can keep flow of people through the library, so.
Very good.
They've been good with D&E working on that, so.
thank you. Community events, any to be announced? Oh, I can be quiet. We don't have a closed session tonight, and next is, I'm gonna entertain an adjournment.
Time is 8:49. I move to, excuse me,
7:49.
7:49. I move to adjourn.
Missed that. Support.
Moved and supported. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Is that